Dang, these Diamond Days episodes have been really good so far. If we're counting legs from here to Homeworld in this, which Cartoon Network is, so I see no reason not to as well, I've gotten probably like 7 halfway decent theory ideas out of just 3 episodes of this show. Several of them came from Familiar, in fact, which are the theories that I'm going to be going over today, because I don't want to drag this out too much and make you guys wait weeks upon weeks for me to talk about every single one of these things, and besides, they're not too incredibly in-depth anyway. And now I will freely admit that I began formulating a couple of these theories before I really understood what was going on in the episode Familiar. I didn't notice at first that the sweat coming out of Yellow Diamond and Steven in that episode was colored after their gemstones. The odd white outlining on the drops of sweat confused me a little bit because I don't understand why it's white instead of just a lighter version of the color that the sweat itself actually is supposed to be. And also, I watched that episode both times that I watched it prior to reviewing it on only 3 hours of sleep while I was very, very sick. And then I reviewed it also on 3 hours of sleep when I was very, very sick. I don't even remember doing that review. Like, seriously, I just rewatched it a few minutes ago and I don't remember saying any of those things that I said in that video. Still, I think I did a pretty good job, so I'm going to leave it up. Anyway, yeah, I even went back and compared the shots of the sweat droplets, I can't believe I'm talking about sweat in this video, to other instances of where characters have sweated in the show, and it's definitely drawn differently in Familiar. It's not just some trick of the light or something. And it was mentioned that the process that Yellow Diamond was undergoing was specifically referred to as extraction. So I do think that the theory that's been bouncing around since the episode aired, that some physical liquid, some liquid that persists beyond the scope of the gemstone to project it, meaning that it is a literal, actual physical liquid, is extracted from the diamonds and used in the process of creating other gems. That the liquid that we see in the injectors on Earth, the pink liquid that we see there, is a liquid that was extracted in a similar manner from pink diamond, aka rose quartz. And the more I thought about it, the more that I realized that that actually supported the theories that I was already coming up with. So I'm going to go over a few of them here, and then I'm going to talk about a few of the theories that have popped up in the wake of this particular reveal in Familiar that I don't think are true. First of all, I have theorized in the past that the diamonds, particularly Yellow Diamond, as hers is really the only one that we can even halfway confirm, have been sharing their abilities with other gems through the use of technology. That the destabilization wand weapons that we see Homeworld gems carrying pretty often are based on Yellow's insta-poof lightning power. Now, this liquid that is seemingly extracted from the diamonds would be absolutely useless in the production of anything if it didn't carry information, but thankfully, I've also theorized in the past that gems, prior to becoming actual gemstones, are made from a liquid which is, in and of itself, a liquid information storage medium, like a liquid hard drive. So it stands to reason that this liquid carries some sort of base code within it that can only be gotten from the diamonds. And if that's the case, then that base code may also carry the information necessary to program diamond abilities into technology. That this extraction process may have a twofold purpose: to provide the liquid used to create more gems down the line, and also to allow gems to extrapolate what the diamond abilities are and how they work, so that they can build devices to replicate those abilities. This doesn't confirm for sure that those come from Yellow Diamond directly, but it does at least make it plausible that they do. That they aren't even just based on her abilities, but are literally her abilities imprinted upon a device. I also, incidentally, think that this confirms another of my old theories, that gemstones can be used to manufacture actual things. That they can create physical things which aren't just constructs made of hard light. But I do want to say that I don't think that this extraction process is the only step necessary prior to injecting the liquid into the ground. I think that other information has to be added to that liquid storage medium in order to determine what kind of gem is going to be made, what personality they're going to have, what shape they're going to take, which instincts and impulses they're going to have, which will drive them towards completing their designated tasks properly. And while it's possible that the diamonds themselves, maybe even on some subconscious level, can add that programming to their extracted liquid entirely on their own as it's being extracted, I see no reason to assume that that's the case, or that that information couldn't be added by an external source later on, either way. Either way, though, I do think it's safe to assume that the diamonds are necessary for other gems to be born, which could very well be why Rose was so opposed to actually killing them. maybe her objection to her crystal gems using bismuth's breaking point to attack and assassinate the diamonds wasn't actually out of some sense of self-preservation. Maybe she was worried that without the diamonds, the gem race would die off. This is also kind of worrying because it might mean that there isn't actually a future for gems without the diamonds, which could be very unfortunate if the diamonds don't end up being willing to change their ways and if there's no adequate excuse to spare them punishment for all the horrible things they've done. Good thing gems are effectively immortal, right? I also don't think that the theory that's bouncing around right now that some gems on Homeworld, some newer gems, are lacking in access to some of their natural abilities because pink diamond's not around, because the extraction process somehow requires liquid from all 4 diamonds to create fully functioning gems is correct. If that were the case, why would the liquid from pink diamond's injectors have been only pink, not some either mix of various liquids which are not entirely mixed together and they're from multiple colors, or some blended liquid that's somewhere between all of the colors? Now, I think the liquid extracted from each diamond is used to produce gems on only their colony worlds, and that the lack of resources on Homeworld and Homeworld-controlled planets is the reason why newer Homeworld gems are coming out less perfect than old ones, the reason that Peridot herself gave us. I also don't think that what we're seeing in this shot here is Stephen Sweat accidentally creating a pebble. First of all, I already said that I think in order to create a gem, other information has to be added to that liquid. But there are also other components necessary in the creation of a gem. Time and pressure and minerals from the earth are all necessary, and even if they weren't, the creation of a gem doesn't turn a chunk of earth into a gem's body. The gem's body is still a projection of light around a gemstone. So either way, this thing, if it was an actual pebble turned into a gem, doesn't function like a regular gem. I think it's safer to assume that it was just a pebble that was, I don't know, resting there and having sweat dripped on it woke it up. Like, I do think that Rose's tears, aka Stephen's spit, that healing ability that can also bring plants to life, recognizing, of course, that plants are already alive, make plants sentient. I do think it's very likely that that's an extension of this same ability that the diamonds have, maybe a simplified version of it that doesn't require an extractor in order to make the liquid fully potent. So it's possible that something like this could be done. Maybe the pebbles are just gem-like creatures. They're not actually gems, but I still don't think that that's what's happening here. It just doesn't line up with the evidence. Unless I have also theorized that Rose was working on ways for gems to reproduce that didn't harm the planets that the gems were using to reproduce on. It is, I guess, theoretically possible that the raw materials that these pebbles were created from were in some way pre-treated by Rose or pre-prepared by Rose back when she was still living as Pink Diamond on Homeworld, such that when they were exposed to the liquid that was extracted from her, they became fully functioning gems without using a whole bunch of the resources around them to do so. This would mean that Rose's experiments into alternate forms of gem reproduction started back when she was on Homeworld, but I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that they did. Maybe that was just something she was always interested in, and the fact that she realized that they were killing people to create more of themselves just spurred her on to put more focus into it. Either way, I don't think this is a conventional gem being born right before our eyes from the mere presence of a diamond, as some people have been saying. I think it's something different that may be hinting at something. Maybe it's even possible that Stephen, being a hybrid, has more abilities than a regular diamond does and could create gems more easily and less messily. That could be what's being hinted at here too. But I don't think that this is the straightforward creation of a gem as we understand the process. There are still yet other details from Familiar that are going to be worked into other theories down the line, but those are the theories that I came up with solely from watching this particular episode. It was quite a lot of them, wasn't it? I'm actually kind of proud of myself, all things considered. As per usual, though, I'd like to know, what did you think about any of the theories that I talked about in this compilation video? Are my mental resources dwindling, or is the essence of my ideas good enough to be extracted? That was a bad one. Just forget I said that. Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below or over my Discord, link in the description. But either way, this has been AJ22 and I will talk to you guys later.